Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is a pretty creepy one, in my opinion. I've been waiting to tell this for a few months now, and it happened somewhat recently. Most of the story times I tell on this channel take place years ago, or over 6 months ago. This story time takes place 3 months ago, and it was definitely one of the most recent, scariest experiences in my life. And I figure you guys would enjoy hearing about it. So if you enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video. That helps way more than you know. And let's jump right into this. So today's story time all starts off as a normal day 3 months ago. It was nice and sunny out. The weather was beautiful. Summer had basically just started. And I was pretty bored this day. I had nothing going on. I had no plans with anybody. So I decided to try and be productive and work on a YouTube video. So I got on my computer. I started recording. I was just recording a story time. And while I was recording my video, I get a notif on my phone. It was an email notification. And I open it. And it's from this random email address. And the topic of the email is just, I know where you live. Now, an email having that subject is pretty intriguing, so I opened the entire email to see what they had to say. And the email itself just said, "You're dead, I know where you live." And that was it. No picture attached, no link attached, no proof that they knew where I lived at all. So I immediately was just unfazed. I get hundreds of comments a day from people that don't like me, so it wasn't the first time I saw something that was trying to be scary. And the fact that the email had no proof whatsoever in it about where I lived, I wasn't nervous. Like, if they said that I was dead and then, attached my address or something, I'd be a lot more scared. But since they didn't post my address, I had a feeling that it was just some kid who was probably 12 years old trying to scare me. You know what I mean? So I didn't let it happen. I didn't let it get me. I just went back to doing my video and I just ignored it. I blocked the email address and I thought that was the end of it, right? And then after I get done making my video and while I'm uploading, I get a message on my phone, this time a text message notification, and it was a text message from a random number that just said, "Hey, did you get my email, Austin?" Now, at first glance, I didn't even put two and two together. I thought it was just someone that emailed me who also had my phone number, and they were trying to follow up. Because sometimes I'll get business emails from people I actually work with, and those people sometimes have my phone number as well, and I just forget to add them to my contacts. So I literally thought it was just somebody that I knew, and I forgot to save their number in my phone. So I responded, and I was like, "Hey man, my bad, I don't have your number saved. Who is this?" And they respond, and they go, "Oh, you don't know me yet, but you're gonna." And I'm like, "What?" So I respond with just question marks because I was confused. And then he responds with his email address, and I immediately recognize it. It was the same email address that sent me that email earlier saying that I was dead, and it said that they knew where I lived. So I immediately realized this is that same dude that was trying to scare me earlier. And then I also realized that he had my phone number, and I have no idea how he got it. And I'm also a lot more nervous now because he actually has some personal information of mine. So I just respond, and I'm like, "Sorry, man, don't know who this is." And I blocked them because I did not want to talk to him any longer. And of course, he makes some new phone number and texts me 5 minutes later saying, "You better get out of your house tonight or else you're going to die." And then he responds with a photo of my house on Google Maps. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm scared. So not knowing what to do, I just frantically block his number again, and then I call up one of my friends who was staying with me at the time. He was staying with me for a couple of weeks, and I was like, "Hey man, I just got a death threat, and to be honest, I really don't know what to do." He's like, "Well, what do you mean death threat? What did it say?" I was like, "It literally said, I'm dead." And then he somehow got my phone number and texted me to leave my house tonight or I would die. And my friend's like, "Does he actually have your address?" I was like, "Yep, he attached a photo of it with the death threat." And my friend's like, "Okay, you need to get out of there tonight." And I'm like, "Really? You think it's that serious?" He's like, "Dude, I don't know how serious it is, but either way, he's threatening you and he has your personal information. I would just get out of there for the night to be safe." And I was like, "Shit." And he's like, "You want me to call my uncle up?" Now, my friend's uncle was a cop. He was one of the higher up cops in our area. And I was like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "You know what, man? I'm doing it. I don't care if you don't want me to. I just want you to be safe, and I want to make sure you're all good. I'll have him look into this phone number." So I send him both phone numbers this dude texted me off of, this hacker, and he sends them over to his uncle and tells his uncle what's going on, and he says he's going to look into it. So at this point, I'm thinking dude, I don't want to fall for this dude's tricks. There's probably just some stupid, harmless hacker that doesn't even know what they're doing. I don't even think I should leave my house. I'm not going to do it. So yeah, my dumbass was being super prideful and letting my ego speak, and I decided to myself that I wasn't going to leave my house that night. So fast forward to later that night, my friend comes over. He comes home from work. He comes to my house, and he's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't know, living, like I always do here." He's like, "Dude, you can't be here tonight. I'm nervous. I don't want you to get hurt." I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I just came here to pick up clothes. I left my clothes here. I wanted to grab them and then go meet up with you." I was like, dude, I'm not going to leave my house. Like, this is where I live. I'm not going anywhere else. I have nowhere else to go. He's like, dude, rent an Airbnb or something. We're not staying here tonight. I was like, dude, I think you're overreacting. I think this kid's harmless. This isn't the first time that something like this has happened. He's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to take any chances and see you get hurt. So I could clearly tell that my friend was worried about me and like definitely nervous. And I decided, you know what? If it'll make him feel better, I'm down to do it. I'll leave my house for the night because the last thing I want to do is make my friend sad and worry about me. So I packed up some things and I rented a hotel for the night because I had nowhere else to go. So me and my friend stayed at this hotel together for one night. And the next morning we both woke up to a text message from his uncle on my phone saying to call him immediately. So I call up my friend's uncle, and I can't lie. Based on what he texted me, I really thought he was about to have some like crazy groundbreaking information about, what's going on. And he answers the phone. He's like, "What's up, Austin?" I was like, "Hey man, like you told me to call you." He's like, "Yeah man, so bad news. I ran both those numbers you gave me, and I can't find anything on either one. I think this guy's using some sort of app to text you or like some sort of website because those numbers don't lead to anything." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, if I were you, I'd just be careful. I think it's just an empty threat. But, if you want to take a few days off from your house, you can." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, man." He's like, "Yeah, no problem." And he hangs up. So I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, fuck, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do. So I tell my friend about it, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought my uncle would help you." I was like, "Yeah, man, he tried his best. Like, it's okay." And he's like, "So what are you going to do? Are you going to go back home tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I think I'm going to." So that night comes along, and I go back home, and I spend the whole night at my house. Nothing happens. Day after that, nothing happens. Day after that, nothing happens. And I'm starting to think like, okay, clearly this was just one big prank. Some kid was just emailing me and texting me to scare me. Like, it's done, right? I thought it was over with. Nope, it was only fucking beginning. So one night, I'm at my house about a week after all this happened, right? Like a week after all the threats happened on my phone. I'm at my house, sitting in my room at like 2 a.m, just playing some video games, listening to music by myself, not talking to anybody. I have my headphones cranked up to like full volume. And right next to my computer is a really big window that looks out to like my front porch. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I can see the motion light turn on my front porch, meaning something moved out there. Now, it turns on all the time for random things, like, a bird will fly by, or like a couple leaves from a tree will like blow by or something, or like a chipmunk or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, millions of things can turn it on. But I noticed something else after it turned on. I noticed a dark figure run by my window as soon as it turned on, out of the corner of my eye. Now, immediately, I throw my headset off, and I look over with both my eyes at my window to see if I just saw what I thought I saw, and I don't see anything. So I get up out of my chair, I run over to the window, and I peek out the window, and I see somebody wearing all black clothes, a beanie, had a backpack on, running as fast as they possibly can off my driveway into the middle of the street and just running down my street away from my house as fast as possible. So I run over to my phone, I call the cops because someone was just trying to break into my house most likely. And I tell them everything that happened, and I also tell them about how a week ago I was getting these weird messages and emails, and I gave them a description of what the dude was wearing, like all black clothes, black beanie, black backpack, and they tell me that help is on the way and to just hang tight. And after that, I run into my friend's room, my friend that was staying with me. I was like, "Dude, wake up." He's like, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, "Homie, someone just tried to break in." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, like some dude wearing all black just tried to break into the house or something. Like the motion light turned on, and he was running down the driveway as fast as he could." And my friend's like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, are you messing with me right now?" I was like, "No, dude." He's like, "All right, I'm calling my uncle." So he calls up his uncle, who's also a cop, and he comes to my house, and all of them arrive at like almost the same time. Obviously, the police arrived first. There was quite a few of them. But then also my friend's uncle pulls up like a few minutes later, and they're basically just asking me for everything, like in terms of the story, and they're also asking me for like his email and those numbers and everything, right? And then 5 minutes after I tell them all that, they find the guy who was at my house. One of the people patrolling the neighborhood after I made the call found him walking on the side of the road, and they took him into the police station and like searched him and all that stuff. He had no weapons on him. All he had was his cell phone and a giant DSLR camera in his backpack. He had like a big camera with a camera battery in his backpack. So they asked him what he was doing outside my house, and he told them that he was there to take pictures to scare me, and that he was like scaring me the week before, and he was basically trying to get on my YouTube channel. That's what he told the cops. Like, yeah, he's a YouTuber. I was there to scare him. I was taking photos with my camera to send to him on email and scare him so I could basically get on his channel. So my friend's uncle tells me all this, right, after they had him in custody. And they also found out that he was 15. He didn't have his ID on him. He kept saying he was 15, but he didn't look 15. And they found out from his parents when they called them and they brought in info that he was 15. So I ended up going down there and meeting up with his parents and like with the cops and shit. And this kid's parents tells me that he's a huge fan of mine and that he owns my merch. And they start showing me order history of when they bought him my merch. So come to find out, this kid was just a huge fan of mine, and he was trying to just like freak me out so I'd make a YouTube video about him, and so he could like flex to his friends that he scared the shit out of me, and like he could flex that he was in a YouTube video. Now naturally, he got his wish, so if you're watching this, dude, congrats, you succeeded in scaring the fuck out of me and getting your own YouTube video. But I was also left with a choice of what I wanted to do about what he did, because what he did was pretty fucked up. And we agreed, me and his parents, that he would have to go to this like class. It was like a month-long class or something. He had to go like 3 times a week. And it was basically meant to like rehabilitate kids that were on the wrong path. So me, the parents, and the police basically agreed that that'd be the best thing to do. And that's really all we could do, because he was 15. Like literally, he was a kid. And kids don't really get in trouble that much for things. Don't get me wrong, if you're a kid, you're not invincible in terms of getting in trouble. But like what he did technically wasn't that fucked up in their eyes, even though it was pretty fucked up, because he didn't hurt me, he didn't break into my house, he didn't really like damage anything. So there really wasn't much they could do other than, you know, put him through this like course that would help him get back on the right path and stop acting like a dumbass. So yeah, after we agreed for him to do this, he came into the room and apologized to me and was like crying. His parents also offered to pay me back for the hotel I paid for, but I didn't do that because they were going through hell enough with their son. So, you know, I was fine with just taking my L. So yeah, what ended up happening was I moved houses for a little bit because I was scared and worried about my address getting leaked. And I also FaceTimed his parents a month later after that course was done. And they told me the course that he went through was very helpful and like really good for him. And he actually took the phone for a second and said sorry again. So that was cool of him, I guess. But yeah, moral of this story is don't do what that kid did at all. And also, if someone ever does threaten you, especially as serious as this threat was, just call the cops or tell somebody that you know, because me being a prideful fuck in this story time could have gotten me hurt. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this story time. I thought it was a crazy one. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like on the video. That would really help. And yeah, leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. You be wanting to fight when I pull up, you see it's like, oh shit. Cut all these ties cause they plan my demise, they all snakes and I think it's been showing. I got some issues, they haunting me daily, I'm losing my